Welcome to Nasdaq Trade Talks. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq. We're coming to you live from Money 2020 in Las Vegas, and joining me for this segment, we have Rohtas Handa. He is Senior Vice President and Head of Partnership and Sales over at QUODD. We're going to discuss market data for Fintech. It is great to have you with us, Rohtas. Welcome to Trade Talks.
Oh, pleasure to be here. Thank you.
And what advice do you give when you talk to all the different Fintech companies that have sprouted up over the past number of years? When you think about trading applications that provide all that type of market data, are there any specific pitfalls to avoid when you think about the barriers to entry into this space?
Yeah, it's funny, you know, when we speak to so many of these startup or entrepreneurs who are starting, business in this area, the two areas that we end up educating them most on are the regulation around market data, what the regulation is in terms of what market data you have to display, and the other is just the exchange requirements, right? When you take market data from the exchanges, what do you need to do to be compliant with their requirements? So those are the two areas we probably educate the people most on, more than anything else.
And what are some of those requirements?
On the SEC side, or the regulation side, actually it's about what type of market data what and when you can display market data. So you can display any market data you want anywhere on your app. But if you're offering a trading application solution, at the time when your users are about to initiate a trade, the SEC requires that you provide them at that moment the most current NBBO, which is the National Best Bid and Offer. So that is actually a requirement, and most people actually, at least in the startups area, are not aware of that. So, and from the exchange's point of view, it's just a requirement. The exchanges require you, again, to be very particular in capturing who you display the data to and who the end user is. Are they considered or deemed to be professionals or non-professionals? And mainly because if they're professionals, the exchanges want to charge a high downstream charge for it. If they're non-professionals, less so. So there's a lot of onus on the fintech providers to capture that data and report to the exchanges. And at QUODD, we actually spend a lot of time helping some of these companies to take that burden away from them. So we make it easier for them to understand what the regulation requirement is and what the exchange requirements are from the reporting point of view.
What happens if you're middle or back office, right? You have to execute with the ability to trade, but also be compliant with all these regulations and corporate governance. How are you advising them?
Yeah, and actually that's the other thing, right? There's so much attention paid to on the display side. A lot of the firms also need to be very particular about making sure the operations are well run. So one of the things we advise most of these firms is to have a very clean security master, updated clean security master data for that reasons, which is supported by timely and high quality corporate actions data, right? So that is actually very critical. And I think what we have noticed is, if you look at all the market data vendors, we're at this technology expo here.
Right.
We see that many of the market data vendors have not spent a lot of time and resources building a good digital solution to support that part of the business. So, we actually at QUODD built a new tool called Universe Plus, which is specifically catered towards the workflow needs of the back and the middle office, so that their operations can be easy, smooth, and they have an application that's just easy to navigate as opposed to some old clunky systems. So that's one of the areas we've spent a lot of time on.
I'm glad you brought up about the amount of companies that are here at Money 2020. Who do you think, or what do you think it's going to take to differentiate these companies that are here?
That's a great, I think two things. One is, we still see a lot of people who are trying to do the same thing as some of the established players, but we've also seen people who have a very specific need or a specific audience with a specific objective they're serving.
Right.
We serve a company that's, for instance, catered towards providing financial education to high school kids, right? And helping them understand what financial markets are and helping them trade and save. So that's a very specific need which is differentiated from anything else. So I think that is very critical, is serving a different need with a different audience and a segmentation that, so that I think is very, very important. And obviously, being able to partner with the right people so you can get you can attract the users, you can get the subscribers. So that's also very, very critical, we see.
So it's the technology and the niche, and then marrying that with the scale that you get from larger institutions.
Because absolutely.
All right, Rohtas, we appreciate the insight. Thanks for joining us on Trade Talks. And thanks for joining me. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq.